Really, okay, toss it off. Here we go. It's a little bit too fast. Now, I may be wrong, but that's kind of my feeling about this. I see, playing it fast is not cool. Cool is sort of you lean back and say, you know, it's just so easy. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And actually, if you want to be really cool, you don't play your short notes quite so short. That has too much energy. You have to play it kind of on the lazy side of it. Oh, oh, I'm lazy. Oh, I'm lazy. Da, da, da. Okay, so let's lie down in the shade and have some Kool-Aid. Ya, da, dee, da, 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 dee, da. Okay, it's a lots of parameters. Go ahead. I think I think your short notes are too short. It sounds like you got too much energy. I'm so lazy, lazy. Oh, that was good. Too short, too short, too short. Lazy, 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 da, da. Yeah. Too short. Oh, if you're that lazy, you don't have the energy to make them short. This is wrong. Da, 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 da. Yeah, da, 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 da. That's a kind of a march. So you want okay. Start here. Ya da 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 da. Oh, good. No, no, too short. Oh, hey. Do you know the very best way to play that is to flatten out your fingers? And Kyrie will go crazy because she'll say, "Oh, you can't play the piece with flat fingers," and you say, "Oh yeah, that's how I get that lazy sound. Look at my hand. Can you see my hand? I get that sound by flattening out my fingers. If I play curved fingers, then it sounds like I'm practicing a scale. You know, but this is lazy Jack. I flatten out my fingers and stroke the key, and I feel so much like I'm in New Orleans in a jazz jam. Okay, flatten your fingers, please, and play. That's right. Now, that's just a secret between you and me because Kyrie will not want you to play flat fingers. Okay, so when she's not looking, you flatten out your fingers. When she's looking, you have to play with good Russian technique. Okay, so that's just between you and me. And you say, well, Marvin told me that I can play flat fingers. That's right. Okay, once again from the top of the second page, and then we'll go on to another piece. Flatten out your fingers, play. Da, 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 da. Actually, the tempo must stay the same. Just because you want a slightly lazier sound does not mean that you can change the tempo. So the tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Keep the tempo. Ya, da, 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 da. Isn't that interesting that sometimes when we play something really, really correctly, for instance, this is really correct, did you write? That's really correct. And yet I would say that's wrong because it's not the right feeling. And the best way for me to describe the feeling is the sound that you would get with your flat fingers. Yeah. So every note is a little bit fatter. Yeah. These are skinny sounds. Those are skinny sounds. I want fat sounds. They're broader. Okay. You think about that. And then you and Kyrie can work that out. But don't tell her that I told you to play with flat fingers.
Well,
That's our secret.
well,
Okay.
I have a very good feeling that she is listening to that right now.
Oh, you think so?
Easton, one more note to fix on that. No worries. Measure three. It starts with A sharp, correct?
Yeah.
And you have 2 more A sharps. I think the last one you didn't play or something.
Oh, third measure 3.
Measure 3, but there was something wrong. Did you catch it? Did you catch it?
Yeah, I found it.
Yes, good.
Okay, what's next?
So the next one, now it's time. Well, I think that I do have another contemporary piece. It's called Siciliano, though it probably isn't contemporary.
What does that word mean?
You mean contemporary?
Well,
Wait. Oh wait, you mean Siciliano?
Yeah. What does that word mean?
It means a dance from Sicily.
Wow. That's absolutely correct. There are a lot of people your age who have never even heard of Sicily and did not know that this is a dance. Yeah. Most every piece that's like 6/8 like this would be a dance, and that certainly is. What key is this piece in?
This piece. It seems to be an A minor.
It's in A minor, you betcha. What's the form of this piece?
The form of the piece. Well, you could call this the A part. ABA.
And then where's B?
B is.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, let's hear it, please. Okay. You have a little bit different impression about the piece than I do. I think of the piece as being a bit more dancey and perhaps a little faster. Is that okay?
Yeah, faster. Yeah.
I think it is, yeah. Um, I think it goes about like that because if you see, nobody's going to dance to that. It just doesn't make me feel like getting up and dancing. But and then and then that really works your
Should we
fingers.
play that faster?
No, I
The
think it's
second
okay. I think that's okay. But this, I'm most concerned about the A section because it doesn't dance, and this is a dance. Yeah, yeah. Now, would you find some kind of tempo that makes everybody in the house want to get up and move around? Oh, young and swinging and yup, ba dee yup, ba, and it has you have fun with that. Play it, please. Dee yup, da da da. Okay, that's right. And one of the things that you have to watch out about is this sound, which some students get. And they're just, I call them the dangerous downs. When you have a bunch of down motions, it just sounds like you're pounding, pounding, pounding. So you have to pick out one note out of that group that is the loudest. It's probably the downbeat. Here's down and lift, down and lift. Here's down and lift, and down and lift, down and lift. Okay? So make the music says, here's down and lift up, and down, lift up, head down. Okay? Play it. Okay. Can you count to 6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, I'm just amazed because there are several measures in this piece that sound like you can't count to 6. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think, well, I know a boy who can't count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, now would you count to 6 on that fourth measure? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. In that fourth measure, I'm not worried at all about the fast notes. I'm worried about the long note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, I want you to play the first line, and I don't want you to say anything until you get to the fourth measure. Then I want you to scream 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, here we go. Count 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I heard it. I heard it.
I heard too.
Yeah. And you held it long enough. See, it really pays to count. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I may be wrong, but that's usually how I hear this piece, at that fast, okay? Now, would you go... And your fingers have to just be like they're made out of steel. Yeah, and actually, those 16th notes should be about half staccato. Every finger so clearly in the key. Play it fast and loud. That's wonderful. That's exactly the sound. That's exactly the half staccato. That's just great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, have we got another piece?
Another piece. We have got another piece. Okay, this one is classical. It's called Sonatina in G major by G.
It's practical.
Classic.
No, I said
classical. Classical. Okay. Who's the composer?
I believe it's John Theodore Latour. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Well, I always say Latour.
Latour.
Latour. Yeah, exactly. And what key is this piece in?
This piece is in, as the title implies, G major, of course.
As the title implies, yes. As the title indicates. Okay, let's hear it, please. Oh, what's the form of the piece?
Well, it's basically a theme in two variations.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, your fingers are good. Easton, what is the matter with my interpretation when I play? What's the matter with that interpretation?
You're playing the same.
I'm playing it all the same. And there's no music that does that. No composer is going to waste his time creating a piece where the sound's all the same. That's just boring music, yeah. So the big question now is what are you going to do with your sound so that we know where the notes are going? When Mr. Latour wrote this, well, one could quickly draw the conclusion that the tonic chords are sort of the restful chords and they are home. What's not tonic, it goes away from the tonic and represents a little bit more tension. Okay, so tonic, dominant, tonic, dominant, to share a rule with you about phrasing. There's a general rule in classical music that if you have a two measure phrase, the phrase goes to the downbeat of the second measure. And it's almost like Mr. Latour wrote that rule. So the first measure goes to the second measure. Now, so what's the matter when you play all the same and all the same and all the same and all the same? Is that you're not differentiating between tonic and dominant. And Latour said, my goodness, you can't do that. That's the whole essence of my piece. I'm right, tonic that goes to dominant, tonic goes to dominant. Yeah. So yum bum ba dum bum ba da da dum ba. And then Mr. Latour wrote a note in his notebook, and he said, well, I'm going to make a rule for my music that says if you have a two measure phrase, the phrase goes to the downbeat of the second measure. And when he wrote 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and then he said, and if I write a four measure phrase, the phrase goes to the downbeat of the third measure. So here's a two measure phrase. And so the music goes to the downbeat of the second measure. Here's a four measure phrase. And so the music goes to the downbeat of the third measure. 1, 2, and 3, and 1. Go to second measure, go to second measure, go to second measure. Yeah. Okay. So in order to play that theme, you've got to know two rules, okay? The dominants are louder than the tonics, and you got to know that if you have two measures, you go to the downbeat of the second measure. Four measures, you go to the third measure. All right. Now play that piece once again and use Mr. Latour's rules about shaping the phrase. Good for you. Good for you. Now, you may decide not to do this, but I'd like to have you play that a little faster, right? A little faster. So go. Yep. Just a little bit faster for now. Go to the second measure. Here's the third. Okay. Play that piece a little faster. And Latour would write you a little note and say, Easton, I forgot to tell you something. You're doing a good job of bringing out your dominance, and you're doing a good job of doing out of two measures, go to the second measure, etc. But he said, I forgot to tell you that the last note of a phrase is the quietest. And I said, he would say, I know you know that, but I'm not hearing that in my music. Okay, the last note of a phrase is the quietest. So when you play, you got to make the last note the quietest. So you think about that. Okay, let's hear your first variation.
First variation.
And about the only thing that you really have to remember when you play this is the sound of yup, up, ba, yup, up, ba, that you go to the downbeat of the second measure. Because you're playing the notes really quite cleanly and nicely. I just have to hear that shape. Yup, up, ba, yup, up, ba, yup, up, ba. Now let me put in another thing sort of in parenthesis here because you and Kyrie may decide not to do this. I think it's very important for our listeners to hear the form that we're playing. Now the theme and these little variations are ABA. Here's A. Here's B. And then A comes out. Okay. When you bring B back to A, the listener must be very aware of that. And if you slow down the last beat just a tiny bit, what you're doing is it's almost like giving your listener a kind of a direction signal that shows him where you're going. So just a little bit. Did you hear that? Of course you did. Just a little bit. Now I wouldn't tell most students that, but you got such a great ear, and you hear that, and you understand how important that is to let the listeners know that we're going back to A. And all I'm doing is taking the last three notes, the last triplet, and slowing them down a little bit. Would you start, please, measure 39? I knew that I could tell you that, okay? Okay, variation 2. You have a bigger job to do than just play 16th notes because you got to get up, 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 up. So the 16ths in the first measure have to go to the downbeat of the second measure. Go here, now go here, go to here. Okay. Would you do that slowly? Go to here. We don't have any other copy of this piece to look at. What I'd really like to check is if in this second variation, if the dynamics are originally from Mr. Latour or if the editor wrote those in there. But they're interesting, and I think if you're going to play this in an assessment, the judge will have this music in front of him or her, and you do your dynamics. I almost hear a total disregard of the dynamics in that second variation. There's some interesting things. You start loud, and then it goes, and then it crescendos, and then, surprisingly enough, so that's very interesting if you would do those dynamics. I think your piece would take on a new interest. So you better make a note to yourself that you have to play those fortes and pianos.
Yeah.
Have anything else you want to play?
Well, there's nothing else that I planned, really.
Well, our time is up.
Can you assign Easton some new pieces? Easton, do you have the book, the Etude book? We haven't started, yeah?
The Etude book, I actually played, I believe I played something from it.
Yeah. So can you open Mr. Blickenstaff gonna give you
Would you look at the very last page of the book?
It's called Chicken Talk.
Yeah, have you done that?
I haven't.
Okay. Now, if you can, I'd like to have you close up your piano, please.
Close up my piano.
Yeah, so that you can tap on the wood.
Oh, I get it. The rhythm.
There you go. Okay. Now get your book ready. Okay. This piece, there you go. That's quite good. This piece is called Chicken Talk because when you listen to chickens cluck, there's no organization to it. They go cluck, 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 cluck. You know, it's all kind of random. And so all of his eighth note rests and things like that, and whether he has 2 notes in a row or 3 notes in a row or 17 notes in a row, it's all kind of supposed to be random. Now I want you to take the third line of the piece and tap the right hand. And I could say, well, how are you going to count that? And you'd look at me kind of cross-eyed and you say, that's so easy, I don't even have to answer that. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, okay. But I say, in a way, it's not, because the double notes are accents. So you're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but you're going to tap 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I want you actually to slap the double notes a little bit further away from the middle of the piano. Do you see what I'm doing? I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and that will get more of a natural accent. Now we can go slower than that, but you have to accent the double notes. Okay. Let's go 1 and 2 and 3. Go. Oh, you have to say it. I'm sorry, you have to say it. Say 1 and 2.
1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Oh wait. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Okay. Now, is that the same in every measure? Is the rhythm the same in every measure?
Well, it actually is.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me help you out and say, yes, it is. 1 and 2. And now, can you look at me and say, look at me and say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Say it.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
That's right. Now tap and look at your hand and say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and, okay.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Okay, good. Now open up your piano. Sorry about that.
It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to play it now?
From memory of all things. No, I'm just kidding. Now I have a question for you. In order to imitate the chicken clucking, what interval does he use for the cluck?
Oh yes, it seems to me like a minor second.
They are all minor seconds. Good for you. All right. Now I want you to play that. And it can go really slow, but you know everything you need. You know the rhythm and you know about the minor seconds. So just take it slow and find the right notes. Here we go. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, I want you to scan the piece a little bit and see if you can tell me what key this piece is in.
I didn't get past the first measure, and I can tell.
Yeah, okay. So it's what in what key?
It's E minor.
Exactly. And do you know why I'm asking you that? Because any self-respecting chicken clucks in E minor. You know, those clucks are all in E minor. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now play that and realize that the right hand is helping to point out E minor. Play that slowly once again. Okay, so you're going to be fine with that. Now I'm a little concerned about the rhythm of the first line. Okay, would you look over that without saying a thing? I just want you to look at that and ask yourself, do you know how to count that first line? And then I'm going to ask you to take both of your hands. We may close it, or you can maybe do it on your lap or something. And I want you to tap and count. That's very kind of you. I appreciate you doing that. Okay?
Yeah.
Get your music out there. Good. Okay, think about the first line, and when you are ready to tap that and count that perfectly, I'd like to hear that, please. But you can take all the time you want to get prepared. He's wonderful. And actually, Easton, I want you to count, regardless of the rhythm in the measure, I want you to count in every measure 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Count all the ands, okay?
I think I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready to.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Very good. Now, I know this is really simple, but I wish you'd add your left hand, please. And the left hand's going to hold down for measures. Okay, here we go. Well, actually, no, you have to start by saying 1 and 2 and ready tap, okay?
1
And 2 and red. Yeah, please, go ahead.
tap. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Okay, I will not worry about you because that's exactly the rhythm, okay? This piece is fun, and I really appreciate the title because the composer has tried to write a sound that sort of sounds random. It means like he just doesn't have any plan, you know. And it's all those eighth notes and things, and sometimes there'll be a pluck here and a cluck there, you know. So I think you'll have fun with the piece. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 and then you're ready. Something like that. Okay, so you'll have fun with that. All right, thank you so much. It was just wonderful to see you tonight. I hope we can get together again sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
thanks.
very much for the class. Yeah, and I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you very, very much. Okay. Goodbye.
Great job, Easton.
Great,
Can I
Easton.
assign you 2 more etudes?
Yeah.
2 more etudes from the book. The chicken talk. You're gonna practice chicken talk, okay?
Yeah.
And also, can you practice 2 more? Mr.
What?
Blickenstaff wanted to give you on page 9. He wanted to give you what it's called,
Longing.
longing. Can you take that as a project? It's just 1 page. So
Okay.
learn that, and then also another one you said, which
Page 5.
and on page 5, a faded letter.
Wait, I'm playing that.
Oh,
Good.
we're already playing that one.
Yeah, you remember
I
just
already did it. Okay, but you don't have the one on the page,
Page
9,
9.
right? Is it?
I don't have it.
Okay, so with then
Let-
we have 3 tunes.
Let me tell you why I picked that, Easton. It is a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece, but it really relies very much on whether you can bring out one note in your right hand and play the other note soft. See, the right hand has both melody and accompaniment. Are you on page 9?
Oh, page 9. Yeah.
Okay. So it got melody. So it actually sounds like you have 3 hands playing. So you got a top hand and a bottom hand and a middle hand. And so you have to take your right hand and make it sound like you have 2 different hands playing those sounds. Okay? You'll do that great. Thank you so much. It's just always wonderful to hear you. Thank you, Nan.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Carrie.
Absolutely. Great job, Easton.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.